Hello and welcome to episode 173 of Comics with Stevey D. And today I have an unusual show today. It's inspired by my friend Eric of Sidequest Comic. He has been doing a feature on his show that I've seen over the past year called 10 for $10. That's where he's on a comic book hunt and he's hunting for specific books for things that he's collecting, like runs and key issues and stuff. But when he goes to the dollar bins, he limits himself to 10, 12 bucks for comics out of the dollar bin. And then he puts them in a long box and he grabs 10 of them and then he starts talking about them. And I really enjoy that segment. So I contacted him and said I was going to do one, and he said, great. So I'm going to dedicate this episode to Eric of Sidequest Comics. The first book, I'm going to show a short excerpt from a show I used to watch as a child.
All stop. All stop. All weapon systems ready for fire. Chip, take a look.
And that's probably as much as I should show. That's Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea. It was a science fiction show at the height of the Cold War. And this is the comic book I found. And it's number 3 from 1965. It's not in very good shape at all, but I still love it. It's a 12 center gold key. And what's cool is the cover on front has the trade dressing and everything. But the back of it, they call it a pin-up, where you cut it out and tape it to the wall. Like I used to tape stuff to the wall when I was a kid, you know, in my bedroom. And it has that old comic book smell. And there's always a giant octopus in these TV show. And there's something, sea monster grabbing the submarine. So that was the first one, Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea. The second one, see, in the dollar bins, you end up getting good buys. I got the first and second issue of Ride. I'm counting this as one. And this is an oversized comic, and it's from 2012, and it's black and white. And look at how cool that car looks, just in black and white. And I'll show you some interior art. So the older I get, the more I enjoy black and white art, because, you know, color dresses things up a lot. But so I got $12 worth of comics for $2. And I bet if I went to my comic shop and I looked up the first issue of this, I bet it would be more than $2 just for one, because our minimum price is always $2.50. But being a first issue, and what's also interesting is Southern Gothic. You know, I don't have comics from that publishing company, but I do now. All right, the next one is Captain Kronos, number 1. Dollar bin diving, you always get number ones. You know, it's something about number ones that makes you want to buy it. In the comic book publishing companies know that, so they make a ton of number ones. Vampire Hunter, Captain Kronos. Isn't that a cool cover? And I'm going to show some interior art too. It's really cool. It's randomly picked. Look at her face. You know, I like that art style. Scenery. All right. Captain Kronos. The next is Ray Bradbury. And when I quit collecting comic books when I was about 15, 16 in 1975, I started reading science fiction. You know, it was a easy transition, you know, going from the sci-fi aspects in Avengers and Iron Man and all those things into the people like Ray Bradbury, The Martian Chronicles, and a bunch of his stuff, and Dune, and all kinds of Isaac Asimov, all those kind of people I used to enjoy reading. Now I listen to the books on tape while I'm doing stuff. This is Bradbury Comics, Horror Issue Special number 2. And it's an anthology, and there's 3 styles in it. But what's cool about the cover, it's a bubble helmet cover in reverse, because this creature from the Black Lagoon type monster in there is inside a bubble helmet with water instead of air. So that was kind of cool. And it's a skull cover and a witch cover, all that stuff. All right, the first comic book style is very interesting. Look at how angular everything is in this style. I'm going to show you briefly each of the 3 styles in the book. And the second one, look at it. Look at this style. Isn't that a cool Al Capone looking guy right there? And the last one is very old-timeish style. Look at that Ferris wheel. Isn't that cool? Circus scene, carnival. And there's a close-up. So 3 styles of art. All these Ray Bradbury's, I think, are anthologies. All right, the next one is an interesting comic, Armor Hunters, and it's a foil cover. And it's not like today's foil covers. This is like a sheet of aluminum. It's a Valiant. Look at that. And then it's a wraparound cover to boot. So I guess they had to print it on one sheet like that for it to work. And, you know, you buy a foil cover now, it's $10. And out of the dollar bin, it's $1. And I'll show you. It's real cool. I'll just show you the splash page. Look at the soldiers. Now that is good artwork, I think. Look at his face. All right, moving on. Athena Valtry from 2017. Cover art by Steve Bryant and Jim Nelson. And there she is. She's a hero. And I think this is, yeah, this is during the, and there's the back page. It's during the Nazi era, World War II, and she's a good guy. And here's just a random page. Look at there's the planes, and then like a dragon type creature. Oh, it's upside down. They probably draw it right side up and then flip it in the book. I don't know exactly how they do it. The next one is Conan the King, and I don't see many of them unless I specifically look for them. And I'm not really collecting them, even though I got a stack of Conan books, so it's going to add it. And this is Conan the King, number 27 from 1985. And I'll just show you a brief monster scene. Look at that monster there. Bunch of dragons. That's kind of cool. But what's really interesting, when I looked at the back page, they got all the great generals from World War II. And see this table here? This table is in Illinois, or Kansas, I mean, where Dwight Eisenhower, where's Dwight? There's Churchill. Where's Eisenhower? Well, anyway, they planned all the invasion of Normandy and all those invasions from World War II on this table. And I saw it. It was behind glass and everything. But I saw this actual table when I visited the presidential, his boyhood home and museum, library. Cool vacation I took when I retired in 2014. All right. The next one is Lost in Space, number 47 from 1976, the bicentennial year. And it's a mixture of sci-fi and Vikings, which is kind of cool. And that's what caught my attention. And I marked the page. This is another gold key quarter. Oh, here's what I marked. At the time, the ads in comic books, I'll hold still so you can see some of them. Felix the Cat and Rolling Stones. And then on the other side, these were in tons of comic books of the day where you could send away for stickers and stuff. So I did one time. Patches. I sent away for all these army patches and stuff, and the company sent me the wrong stuff. And being like 14 or so, I said, heck with it, and kept it instead of trying to get my money back or get what I ordered. That's when I quit ordering crap from comic books. The next one is a story that I really enjoyed when I read it, The Illustrated Man. And that's a pretty good cover right there. I mean, the contrast between the fans and the Illustrated Man. It's Ray Bradbury again, and it is also an anthology. No, is this one an anthology? Let me look. Yeah, it's got 2 stories. So there's a real cool picture of there he is right there. There's an illustrated man. His body is covered with tattoos that, if you look at them for any while, they start moving and telling a story. Okay? And the next book reminded me of Brittany, and that's why I got it, because she loves King Kong. Brittany's Comic Shop. Jimmy Olsen, Superman's pal Jimmy Olsen. And this reminded me of her because she loves King Kong. And then there's King Kong, King Jimmy, I guess, climbing on the skyscraper, and the jets are flying at him. Except in the back, it's an anthology story also. And my friend Nate and Matt love the Superman kind of stuff. I just dabble a little here and there. And there's the old time planes that is homaging. And the title is so funny. It's The Eighth Wonder of the World. Instead of the eighth, it's the eighth. So that's why I picked this book. This cover, and then the bonus of seeing that title right there. You know, that was worth $1. So those were my 10 books. And my 11th book I ran across in Missouri, a long way from Canada, was Tell the Story, featuring the Canadian superhero Captain Canuck. And it's Chapter House Publishing, and from 2015. So it isn't an actual Captain Canuck. But what's really cool about it is you tell the story. So you're supposed to draw a picture of yourself and put your name and all that stuff on the splash page. And then it tells a little of the history of Captain Canuck, you know, little readings about that Canadian superheroes. And then they show how to draw facial expressions. I didn't open the book when I bought it. I just bought it for the cover. And so that's kind of cool, seeing all those different expressions. And excuse me. And then they have you do it. You try it. And my friend Lyle from Canada, you see him on his new channel. And then you see him on Alan, the Comic Collector Geek channel. He's a guest on that show quite often. And I told him I got it. He said, oh, wow, you don't see many of these in Canada, which is weird. As a Canadian superhero, you can't find in Canada so easily. And this guy has 1 million comic books. I don't know if it's 1 million, but he has more comic books than a person could lift in a lifetime, probably. One at a time, yes. All together, no. You need a crane. But so that's why I bought this one. And I really like the activity of it that you can do. I'm not going to do it. I might give it to one of my grandkids. And it's simple lines, simple drawings. You know, look at that. Bigfoot, Sasquatch. Kind of cool. With that, this show was dedicated to Eric of Sidequest Comics. And he does the 10 for 10, so he's getting full credit for the concept of 10 for $10. And I may do it again in the future because I love dollar book diving, but I have to limit myself because when I started collecting again, I was buying tons of dollar books, and then you got to bag them and board them and store them, and I had a 2-bedroom house and running out of room, you know, so I don't buy a ton of dollar bin books anymore. I'm working on my runs more so. And after this show, speaking of my runs, I thought I had 10 books to go on my Marvel 2-in-1, but I have 14. And I'm going to do an order at my comic shop after I do this show. And I'm going to knock out a bunch of those. And I want to say thank you to my friend Robbie Joseph, who is a patron for comic book artists. He sends great books to people in the comic book community. And he gifted me some funds for art supplies and comic books. And so I haven't used, I used about half of it on art supplies. And the rest I'm going to use on picking up some of these 2-in-1s. And then I just wanted to thank him and give him the notary he deserves. And you can catch his stuff on Instagram. He posts 4 or 5 comic books every day. Great comic books from the golden era up, you know. And with that, enjoy your comic book pursuits. Take care, everybody.